Hi, family and friends. Good morning. Welcome to Gary in the Kitchen. Thanks for joining me. We're excited to bring you our first episode from Florida since we've moved, from Colorado. So, fall is in the air. It's the middle of September. It feels more like fall in other parts of the country than in Florida. However, it is a little bit cooler at night now. But I wanted to do something nice. So I'm going to make a cinnamon raisin biscuit, a glazed cinnamon raisin biscuit. Those of you that are maybe a little older remember back like in the 80s, Hardee's made cinnamon raisin biscuits, and they were such a rave back then. So I'm going to attempt to do my version of that. I've not made them before, so it's all trial and error. So join me in the kitchen and we'll get started. So for ingredients here in the mixer, I have 2 cups of plain flour. I have 1.5 sticks of butter that I've diced up into kind of smaller pieces. I have 1 egg, half a cup of milk, vanilla flavoring, which I will use 1 teaspoon of. I have 2 tablespoons of baking powder. I have a half a teaspoon of white sugar, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of salt, and 1.5 teaspoons of brown sugar. I have about 3/4 cups of raisin, just plain California raisins. And then I have extra flour for kneading and rolling out, okay? For utensils, I just have a fork I'm gonna beat the eggs with, and a couple scraping small utensils, for cleaning out as we go along. So to the flour here, I'm going to add all my dry ingredients: the baking soda, the sugar, the powder, the cinnamon, the salt, and the brown sugar. We'll add all of that to the mixer, and then going to give it a couple pulses so everything is combined. Okay, so we got the dry ingredients combined in here. Okay, to that I'm going to add the butter. Whoop, one got away. Gotta put it in there. It's gonna be all important. I made biscuits a few weeks ago. Forgot to put the butter in it. That was a disaster. Alrighty, so let's pulse it until the butter is kind of like, and the flour mixed together, and it's kind of like a sand. It's kind of like a wet sand. So it may take 5 or 6 or 8 or 12 pulses, See what we got here. Oh, it needs to go a little bit more. I need some long pulses in there. Alrighty. Yeah, let's turn it on for a little bit. Alright, yeah, that's much better. Alrighty. So now what we're going to do is we're going to combine the egg and the vanilla flavoring into the milk. Like that. This is my homemade vanilla flavoring. I made this myself. It lasts forever because you get so much more out of it than what you pay for in the store, because it's really expensive in the store. That is if you get real vanilla flavoring, not the imitation stuff. Okay, so Let me beat this up real good here. And then we're going to pour it into the dry mixture and turn it on and let it beat until it's well combined. But there still may be like some lumps of butter or even flour in there because it'll all bake out. It's going to be really good. Okay, guys, we got that done. Put the lid back on, and we'll turn it on. Alrighty, now it's like combined together. To that, we're going to add, let me kind of level it out here. I want to add the raisins, okay? And we'll just give it some pulses here. Just to get the raisins mixed in. Alrighty, so we got them mixed in there. So let me clean up a little bit here, and then we'll get them pressed out. Don't have to do a whole lot, because you don't want to dry out your dough where it's too dry. Okay, so just do that. Then we're just going to press out the dough. I don't have a biscuit cutter, so I'm going to be cutting it with a knife. So they're going to be more like square versus round.
How thick is that?
Try to square it off a little bit. Okay. So cut it with a knife. Or you can use a pizza cutter. Or if you have like the flat edge, you can use that. Also, I guess if you wanted to like make like pumpkin, you know, if you're a pumpkin fan, pumpkin spice, when you add the cinnamon, add your little nutmeg and pumpkin spice to it. You can have your cut back on the cinnamon a little bit, and add your pumpkin spice and a little bit of nutmeg. So we're going to place them on a pan that I put a piece of parchment paper on. Also, preheat your oven. I preheated the oven to 400 degrees, so it's over there ready to go when these are all on the pan. Okay. this real quick. Alrighty, so they're ready to go in the oven. Like I said, I got the oven preheated to 400. So we're gonna put about middle ways of the oven here. And we're gonna bake them roughly 20-25 minutes. So I'm gonna set the timer for 20 minutes. And we'll check them out then and see if we need to go longer or if they're ready to cool down and put some frosting on. That's next. The frosting is next. Alright guys, so we're going to make the glaze for the biscuits, the cinnamon raisin biscuits. And it's pretty much your basic, you know, powdered sugar glaze. So I'm going to add 2 cups of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring, 2 teaspoons of maple syrup flavor, okay? And then a teaspoon of cinnamon, okay? So you may be thinking, why so much glaze for, you know, 3/4 dozen biscuits? Well, I want to put some on while they're hot so the biscuits will absorb it. And then when they cool down, I will go back and put a second glaze on there. So I want to make sure I have enough. So So I'm going to put a teaspoon of cinnamon in, but I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon measure, so I'm going to put 2 1/2 teaspoons. And I forgot to get it out. We'll probably start with like 2 tablespoons of milk. If we need to add more, we will. So just whisk it all together until it's smooth. So, gonna need a little bit more milk in here. So add another tablespoon. However you whisk, just whisk it real good so it's well combined. Smooth. Like that. Good. Let's give it a taste, see what the flavor's like. My goodness, that's so good. This is gonna be wonderful on the biscuits. Very basic, very easy, very simple. Just 4 ingredients, 5 ingredients, and you're done. Okay, so when the biscuits are done, we'll be back. Oh yeah, nice and golden brown. that. They're just begging for some of that cinnamon maple glaze. Move here. I'm set. That. Let me give the glaze one more whisk here. And I wanted to add a little coating on it while they're hot so the biscuits will absorb it. Some of them have some cracks and crannies in it. Alrighty. So we'll let them set and absorb that wonderful glaze into it. Then we'll come back and put a second glaze on it. So give it probably maybe 5 or 10 minutes to cool down, and we'll be back. Hey guys, so it's been about 10 minutes since I put the first glaze on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to really put a heavy second coating on them, so they're nice and glazy and good. Kind of get some on the sides, you know. You know, it's nothing that I dislike most is like getting a breakfast pastry, a donut or scone or something that doesn't have enough glaze on it. So when I make breakfast pastries, I always like to make sure I have enough glaze to cover everything. Not that it's a whole lot on there, but it's enough, you know, to where you can enjoy the pastry and get the flavor, all the flavors. Alrighty, so we got that second glaze on there. We're gonna plate it and give them a try out, and I'll let you know how that goes. Hey everyone. Hey. So we have it plated. Mwah. So we'll give it a try and see what it's like. So remember, this is the first time I made this, so.
Good.
Distinct.
I like that. You can taste the maple glaze.
It's almost like a scone.
Reminds me of that.
And the raisins add a nice touch to it. Natural sweetness.
Yeah, I like it. Good job.
All right, so now I am going to get a sip of coffee. It was a big bite. Go to the living room and sit down and enjoy it. Thanks for joining us today. I hope if you try it and you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. So thanks for joining us for our first episode from Florida. It's been Gary in the Kitchen. Remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. We thank you guys a lot. God bless and have a great day.
Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hi, family and friends. Welcome to Gary in the Kitchen, the first one from Florida since we've moved. So come and join me. We're going to make something delicious for the fall. I'm going to make, well, if you remember back in the 80s, you remember Hardee's? They had their glazed cinnamon raisin bagels. Yeah, we're going there. I'm going to attempt to make cinnamon raisin bagels.
Biscuits.
Biscuits.
You said bagels twice.
I know, I called it the second time and I forgot to get out the book. Hey family and friends, thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. Today we're going to do kind of a fall breakfast thing. Stop.